So it's Scarlett against Top. OGS Top, a former GSL finalist and a phenomenal Terran player. Top has always been known for phenomenal macro.
Yes.
We'll see how he fares off against one of the best ZVT players, I think, in the foreign scene. We'll see how he matches up against Scarlett, starting off on Cloud Kingdom.
I love Scarlett's every matchup, actually. I think she's so powerful, but it's important to note really quickly that Scarlett basically made it to WCS Canada doing nothing but like ZVPs. She had so many ZVPs and ZVZs, not a lot of ZVTs. The only ZVT I think she met up with was Druby. So I haven't gotten to see a lot of it, but when she did play against Druby, she absolutely trounced him.
Yeah, that was really good. I remember those games. I was trying to summon them. I remember her having very nice games as well. You know, when she beat Huck, also in WCS Canada, and you know, it just seems that Scarlett's really starting to get comfortable playing just in front of people and with a lot of pressure on, especially with her breakout performance in IPL 4 and now doing very well in WCS Canada. I'm very excited to see how Scarlett's going to do in other tournaments like MLG in the upcoming months.
Yep, let's go and introduce our players. Bottom left-hand position, as we were talking about, Scarlett, the purple Zerg on Cloud Kingdom. Top right-hand position, it is Top. Is the blue Terran over here. Now, oh, never mind. I was just about to say Command Center First is getting a lot more common, but it's actually like a semi-proxied barracks. This is very Slayers-esque. You see all the Slayers Terrans actually doing this. I think this is a direct response from, honestly, Boxer. Because this is like just very Boxer-esque. A lot of times you'll do this, and yeah, you'll put 2 barracks too to try to combat it. That's very Boxer-esque too. Actually, he got super famous against Yellow for making 2 barracks and then going all in with SCVs. Did that 3 games in a row for a finals and won it 3-0.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then they had that huge epic GOM TV legend rematch. Or was it? Yeah, it was like the OSL legend rematch of the legends. So if you guys missed that, definitely go check it out if you can. It was a really nostalgic moment. In fact, I'd like to take a moment just to acknowledge Broodwood for all the great foundation it laid for StarCraft II. But with that in remembrance, we can also remember that Top used to be a great player back in the day. A lot of people thought of him as one of those Terrans that maybe he was just a cut under Polt, MVP, Marine King, but he was just right up there as one of the really solid Terrans, and he dropped off, but he's still been making a lot of waves in things like the ESV Grand Prix or even the Korean Weekly. Still trying to enter things like the Summer Arena he was at for MLG just a couple of weeks ago, so Top is still very relevant, and he really wants to make his name known, and what better platform than right now for NSL Season 4 qualifiers.
And the initial Marine pressure is starting up right here. Very nicely done by Scarlett. She's keeping everything alive, making sure that she's prioritizing that bunker so it doesn't go up. Spinecrawler is going to go down. Queens and Zerglings as well. Top is going to be stopped here. Now, Scarlett had the best indications possible. If you can see over here, this Overlord actually seeing that there's no command center going up, that let her know that wasn't some sort of fast expansion or, of course, command center first. That's why she had the expectations of this push to happen, and she's able to defend against it so easily. Now she's going to continue doing this. Look at this second scout. Immediately when I say it, there is no command center down here, so she is worried about some sort of 4 racks directly after that. She should prepare for this because of it, but of course we know command center on the top, not too probable, or excuse me, not really standard, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. When you have to be very cautious, but at the same time, you can see Scarlett just cautiously droning up and getting gas a little bit at times. Very clever ruse by Top to kind of say, well, I'm going to keep her in the dark. That said, I like that Top didn't try to overcommit. A lot of times, you know, players lose everything. They lose the Marine, they lose the SCVs, and then they just kind of feel very silly having nothing to really defend against any kind of Zergling counterattack. At this point, though, Scarlett's very nice. Getting a second Spinecrawler makes her very safe. Yes. And from that point on, she can just resume normally.
She's expecting some sort of SCV Marine all-in at this position. I mean, it's very hard for her not to actually kind of fall for this. She's going to actually put a couple of Zerglings behind, just trying to scout out, see as much as possible. But even this, I mean, she sees additional Marines. This is even greater indication.
Top is going for a third command center really quickly. Now, I want to go back down memory lane a little bit. And Top was one of the first Terrans actually going for triple command center way before it became kind of the staple part of TVZ in order to keep up with Zerg's macro. And that was against players like Nesty, who would just be able to exploit perfectly and make great unit compositions to counter it, so Top would not be that successful. But, I mean, Top is now, like, this fits his style perfectly to be able to transition, so this is very textbook Top Terran play, but you can see that he's now pushing in here, but has to be really cautious with the Queen's range and 4 Spine Crawlers. He's not really being able to do anything there.
Yeah. And all the queens down here as well. This is like so intelligent of Scarlett. Even though it's all wasted, she's seeing that, hey, there's still no command center over here. I need to be careful for this all in. And she has every single read to know it is an all-in. Of course, we know it isn't, but it's like the majority of, like, probably 95% of games is going to be exactly like this, where they all in. Now finally the command center gets revealed, and she's like, well, it's still fine because I've had my expansion for so much longer. Now I'm going to kill all the Marines.
Ooh, the big surround. And Top loses everything.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 Marines back at home. So he really doesn't have ability to put on any pressure, and of course, you know, Scarlett now sees a very late expansion. Even though Top does have an expansion, the fact is he hasn't been able to really utilize a lot of harvesting from it just yet.
Exactly. And not only that, the main will be mined out a little bit faster because, of course, mules will be allocated over there. But from here, Scarlett, I mean, she has complete ground control. She can get a quick third. She can go ahead and just drone up, saying, I'm going to keep up with your economy, which is completely fine. I think all we should be actually seeing is drones. Look at how clever this is.
Wow.
2 banelings being shown. This is to actually, like, kind of fake it's going to be some sort of baneling all in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if she cancels right here. But she knows, she finishes, and from here, look, oh my god, all the SCVs are being pulled. It's because she saw those 2 banelings, or excuse me, Top saw those 2 banelings, and he's prepared against some sort of baneling or circling all in.
Yeah, and he can't necessarily leave the line for that long, and if he does, he has to be very cautious, very paranoid about it. Look at it, he's making bunkers on top of his ramp as well in the main. And this is very intelligent play from Scarlett. Of course, Top is doing all the right things as well. It's just tit for tat at this point. You know, Top makes it look like Scarlett, or he makes it seem like he's going to all-in Scarlett, so Scarlett has to overreact. Scarlett makes it seem like she's going to go for a counterattack, but Top is forced to overreact. And this is very high intelligence psychological games right now.
That's exactly right. Amazing play from both these players. I'm really impressed. From here, you can see, oh my gosh, Top is actually going straight for siege tanks. When you do this, this actually staggers you so much. It really disallows you from doing so many different pushes. He's going to have to basically max out, or at least go to 2-2 from here before he does anything. As soon as the first siege tank is actually shown, Scarlett should know this, take a 4th base, go into hive tech, and she will know that she can do that without worrying about a single thing.
At the same time, though, I kind of still like Top's position. He's taking more of like a Gumiho path where he goes for a lot of command centers, and he's going to be playing very aggressive with his base taking. You can see that even though, you know, the fact that he fell behind early economically because of everything else, he forced enough units. Scarlett's drone count is not that healthy, and Scarlett didn't even get her 3rd base faster than Top did. So this is still a decent position macro-wise for Top.
Yeah. I would agree to that. I mean, he could definitely progress on really fast. The fact of the matter is, though, like, he can't push. Like, there's so many things that Zerg can be doing.
Yeah.
He just cannot push. Stim is just now about a quarter of the way done, and Scarlett immediately takes the 4th base, and she's just going to drone up from here on out. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a hive getting put down pretty soon.
Oh, we can see the Zerglings and Banelings are moving up towards the north, trying to see if they can force Top in an awkward position. Top doesn't have combat shield or stim, so his Marines are very vulnerable without the assistance of the siege tank. Of course, Top does have decent amount of production, but nowhere near what he really could be capable of with 4 orbitals at this point. You can see that, just like you said, fast hive is in order, and Top scans and immediately sees that fast hive out of his opponent. So how will Top react? Just like you said, he doesn't have much pushing power, so he just might have to let it happen.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, you can see Stim and Combat Shields on the way. Plus 2/2 is also on the way. He actually got 1/1 before Stim Combat Shields, LOL. How many times do you actually see that? Preparing a drop, I don't mind this whatsoever. Look at that creep spread, though. Scarlett, you monster. She is smashed face taking names. This one, I think was, she definitely sees that. and will get picked off. Probably not, but another medevac is going to come over here on the left-hand side and try to have its success. I like this. Expanding while you're actually doing a little bit of pressure. It's really, really intelligent. But look at this. Scarlet is prepared all over the place. She is so clever with her positioning of her units.
Yeah, and Top's getting up a second factor. He really wants to just get ready for that incoming hive tech. You can see the Marines dropping or dying almost instantly. I guess the Constellation is forcing a Baneling to be used, but I mean, nonetheless, Top is very comfortable in terms of taking expansions. Now, again, Top has always been known to be very macro-centric, but he's currently floating a lot of resources, not really able to get out the units he needs at this point. And Top needs to kind of clean up a little bit more if he really wants to keep up with Scarlett, who's been very aggressively teching the hive, going for a second Spire as well.
Medevac drop over here on the left-hand side is going to run into a couple of Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers. Going to just force the unit to actually drop in not the best location. That's going to be really good for Infestors, but they're not in position. Drones being pulled very quickly. It should get picked off. Get the Extractory, nice.
Ooh, that's good. Just limit another source of gas for those Broodlords to get delayed a little bit. You can see that +3/+3 is started, though, for Scarlet. He doesn't have necessarily any option besides Broodlords to go. He didn't throw down his Ultralisk Cavern, so really committing to it. And Tom does see it with his Medevac, so he knows what's coming.
Ooh, Queen is going to get the money kill. Nicely done. But from here on out, I mean, Scarlet, she's playing this beautifully. I mean, Top doesn't really have the best counter to Broodlords. Actually, he has a terrible counter to Broodlords.
Well, he's making 2 more starports on top of the ones he has, so he just needs a little bit more time, but... And he hasn't actually made any Vikings, even though he's scouted this Greater Spire. Well, I guess I'm gonna see how Top handles himself here. I mean, hypothetically, Andre, what did we say? We said in the most perfect world of micro, only Marines is what you need against Infestor, Broodlords, Zergling, Banelings, right? Only Marines, but Top has to have the most godly micro, which he's not necessarily known for.
Yeah, Automatron 2000 would even have a lot of trouble dealing with Broodlord.
That'd be so sick to watch,
split
though.
Every single time.
Oh my god. Man, that just shows you the ceiling cap of StarCraft II, but it's just, is anyone able to really achieve it?
Oh, Medevac drop being picked off on the left-hand side. Nice fungal is going to keep that in its place. But in the meantime, a lot of Marines and Siege Tanks are going to come over here. Now, if Scarlet plays this right, she should actually just completely evacuate. Yes, evacuate from here. Position everything, wait for Broodlords, and then just retake it and crush this army. Oh no! She's actually losing a ton of Zerglings and Banelings.
The Banelings are under tank fire, Andre. She's lost around 3 or 4. She has to cancel some of them. Now the Marines are starting to work on them as well. Ooh, this is very costly for Scarlet.
Oh, nice! Fungal growth is going to plant very easily now. Top might have a lot of trouble actually dealing with this. A couple of the infested Terrans are going to come up first, giving the Zerglings free reign and everything splashes on top of those units. Very nicely done. In the meantime, a drop in the main, it looks like, is going to clear off a little bit of the third base, but also the bottom right is under attack. Top actually playing this very nicely, but Broodlords are just ravaging the fourth base over here until a single Viking is actually going to come over here.
This is great for Top, Andre, because the fact is, even though he's losing army, he has a huge economy behind it. And not only is his economy massive, but he's able to take out bases. He's hitting Zerg where it hurts the most, and she's really limiting Scar's ability to do this. No, the Infestors are running straight into the Marines as well, and the Marines clean up 2 Infestors that were almost full on energy. Top with phenomenal positioning and use of his Marines.
Still, Scarlet does have the composition advantage on her opponent. Excuse me. 9 Vikings though on the
and 6 more on the way.
Jeez. Whew. Okay, so I take that back, actually.
Top is looking very strong, and again, it's because he's denying expansions, and you may think, you know, yes, Zerg has the ability to remax a lot, but this gas intake has now been reduced to pretty much just 4 because Scar's not harvesting from her geysers at the moment. So this has been a pretty strained economy for Scarlet, even though she's comfortably been able to drone up a lot.
Yeah. Looking at the upgrades really quick, 3-3 against 2-2. So Scarlet is actually ahead there. Actually, a lot of... It would be pretty good to do an ultra transition right here, seeing as how many Vikings are being forced out at this time. Look at this, 2-2 is actually on the way for Flyer, Carapace, and Attack. That shows you how comfortable Scarlet is right now. She is doing phenomenally well. On top of that, she is retaking all of her bases. And once she's stabilized, I think, again, she does have the composition advantage, even though it shows 200 to 155.
Yeah, I mean, tricky things can happen with fungals and the fact that you have tanks against Broodlords, but look at this. Top has like a lot. Look at his main. He has a lot of units just sitting there, not doing anything. And Top has to be very cautious because I think he doesn't think he has a lot of Vikings, but the truth is he has an insane amount, Andre. He's got 10 waiting in his base with a couple of medevacs, so that's easily 20 supply of his army that's not there. So even though the supply counts show 20 behind of Scarlet from Top, the armies are pretty even.
Yeah, and Scarlet cleaned up the drop over here, now going to stop everything in its tracks. Yes, he loses the hatchery, but at a pretty costly amount. Scarlet should immediately just start attacking that 4th base, but he's going to go for, oh my god, all these Vikings are caught out, and the infestors are on creep, so they can actually catch up. Beautifully done, fungaling every single one of those Vikings down. Units tab showing 17 Vikings on the field, but so many are going to be taken out right now, and with the combination, no ghosts out, no real siege tank count to actually protect the Vikings, there's no way to actually stop this army. Beautifully done by Scarlet. She is so far ahead in this game, now taking out the 4th base.
And we see that Top's going to push Bio with his small pack of Bio and take out more bases and going to call Scarlet back. But of course, Top has actually a huge Viking count because of everything he left in his main. So he just discovered it, thankfully, and now he's able to really muster it. But Top, despite all of the fact that he's been losing his armies here and there, has been able to stay at a very comfortable macro advantage. And that's what we're talking about. Look at his bank as well. He's able to really push out a huge amount of units. Now here is a big thing. Top is now finally get Ghosts. Ghosts at a very good dimension, and yes, even though Ghosts did have their fair share of nerfs, EMPing Infestors is so key. If Infestors have no energy, then Vikings become empowered, and there's almost nothing that Scarlet has, especially since she didn't have an Ultralisk transition.
That's exactly right. Ooh, Zergling's going to be able to clean up all the ground. This is what I'm talking about. Scarlet just has so much ground dominance.
Huge fungal on a massive amount of Vikings. And Top is going to lose a huge amount of his ability to deal with the Broodlords.
What? Are you kidding me? Look at how many Vikings he has now. 5 Vikings out in the field. That means the Broodlords still reign supreme. Fungal plus Corruptors is just so powerful against this style. Another double drop over here in the mid left-hand side will just stagger this expansion yet again, but Acer Scarlet is moving on over to deal with that very effectively. One of the medevacs is able to actually get out barely, but Scarlet is just all over everything. She is playing so well. This is why she's one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player right now in StarCraft.
Scarlet has to be very careful, though, Andre, because now it's getting to the point where her larva banks are very, very low. She doesn't have that strong of an income, and Top's really been doing a good job. Oh, picking off some of these infestors again. Top has been doing phenomenally as well. You know, for every fungal that Scar's been able to land, Top's been able to pick off a few infestors here and there to really try to even out that count. Top also does have 4 orbitals still, so he can really drop a huge amount of income to really, you know, outpace Scarlet in terms of being able to keep a constant stream of production. Scarlet trying to push in to see if he can destroy this base. Another nasty fungal, but how is he going to be able to follow up more fungals on the rest of the units? Top losing a lot of units because he only has 1 medevac to heal, and that is not enough healing to really keep these Marines maximized. Great spits from Top, but does he have enough to really hold on to this onslaught of units? Scarlet is forced to back off, but Top is not going to give up, and for now, as long as he can hold this position, he's going to have a pretty good income.
And only a single medevac out in the field. He's actually getting very gas-starved. In the meantime, Scarlet is taking the bottom right-hand expansion, so she is on 3 bases, about to approach into the 4th one. Really, though, I mean, look at the upgrades even. The Corruptors are at 3-2. Look at the Tops. They're at 0-0. These units are so weak against Scarlet's. So it gives this air army so much more potential than we're normally used to. I mean, Scarlet is in a fantastic position. I don't know of a way that Top can actually defend this base accurately.
Now, Scarlet is, I like the fact that she's backing off as well. She felt like she had an opening, but doesn't want to lose it, because you lose those Broodlords once, that is it. And you can see that Scarlet is now moving to the bottom right, trying to catch another drop. That's a very nice little move there from Scarlet. You can see Top is also running to another base, taking out more units. A very big play indeed, picking off a lot of the drones. This is a good move by Top. Again, just trying to use strength in the fact that his opponent's army is not mobile. Broodlords are very, very slow, and it seems that Scarlet is very resolute glued on sticking to Broodlord, so Top is trying to use his map presence, but at the same time, Scarlett has her eye on the prize.
Oh my gosh, but here's a big problem. The Broodlords are so far out of position. The Vikings are just going to town. This is exactly what Top needs, but there are so many Infestors and Corruptors. I don't even think it matters. Look at how hardy these units are with +3 armor. It gives them +4 armor totally. Yeah. And when these are, you know, yes, they deal a lot of damage. When you're getting -4 off of each shot, that's reducing your DPS so low. It makes the Vikings like Marines, man. That's all they are.
Vikings only do 20 damage per shot. You need to kill way faster. You can see that Top also working on some of these units with his Marines, doing very good job, again, maximizing small packets of units, small engagements everywhere. Another bio run by a try, so you can snipe the base here in the bottom center as well as the mid left. Top being everywhere at once, picking off more drones. Scarlet forced to run. And again, the lack of mobility really starting to hurt Scarlet.
Yeah, Scarlet just needs to pull the trigger pretty soon. I mean, she has so many Corruptors. Look at this. And now just relying on Infestors to clear everything up. I think this should be the key. She is maxed at 200. She should try to actually get that hatchet before she actually engages. But still, she's so far ahead. Just start using your advantage. I think we're going to see that right now.
Well, she's making a 200 army purely off Infestor, Corruptor, Broodlord. Now, the big thing is, will Top be able to get EMPs? And will he be able to deal with these Infestors? Because the Infestors are the only thing empowering. A split from Scarlet means that the time is near. The Infestors are trying to get in position, but one gets EMP'd. The other ghosts are not in position to EMP. The Focal keeps him down. Will Top be able to do it? And he does. He lands on a huge wave of EMPs. And there's almost nothing really there to follow it up, though, because there's a lot of Broodlords raining out damage. No anti-air. The Corruptors killed every single Viking known to mankind, and OGS Top is going to lose its position. Acer Scarlet's still strong in her supply count, remaxing on Zerglings at this point, and Scarlet's going to be able to work on this base, one of the few mining places, the only mining place of Top.
Yeah, there's no direct response to all these Broodlords and Corruptors. This basically says, I have air control, don't even bother. All that Scarlet has to do from here on out is go ground. She has to supplement and make sure she has ground control, because remember, these upgrades are fantastic. There's no way that Top can actually change around. Now taking out all the mules, that's going to add insult to injury, and Top is just searching for some sort of mining base. He's being thrown on his back heels, man, and he cannot get back up. He can't get his balance, and this is going to be the tipping point. Scarlet is going to shove it in here and push him over until he falls and dies.
And Top really doesn't have that strong of an answer. He's making medevacts at this point, which is not what he really needs against this army. I mean, he's trying to, I guess, out-heal any fungals, but I mean, he doesn't really have an answer. He got the EMPs he wanted. He's now trying to push into the bottom right, and again, starve out Scarlet, but Top is not in a good position. He has to defend this planetary right here. Is his last source of income, but you can see that Scarlet, as long as she pushes in and eliminates his last base and prevent Top from being able to get it, it's just a starvation game. Top will have nothing really to keep up his wave of momentum.
Exactly right. Bottom right is going to be cleared up to the Banelings, and Top is just he's looking for something. He's looking for something to get back into this, but we know. I mean, Scarlet is just way too far ahead to lose this game. She can just 1A, close her eyes, and go get a drink, and she'll still win this game.
I mean, at this point, Scarlet has a very good control, has a pretty good Infestor count. Just has to land a fungal, and he does a very massive lockdown indeed, and Top cannot go anywhere, forcing the engagement, shutting the door, locking it up, throwing away the key. GG.
Scarlet.
Wow.
Scarlet, are you kidding me? You are so freaking good, Scarlet.
Very well played. I mean, Top played really well, too. I have to really stress how he was able to really catch units out of position. It was very good map movement and army control from Top. And, I mean, despite all of that, Scarlet was able to really keep it up.
The beginning, right? I mean, Top was so far behind from that beginning. Just going the two barracks in the beginning and then losing so fast, losing all of his Marines directly after that. It really shows you the skill of Top and how he's able to get back into the games with his multitasking, with his, his macro really. But when it comes down to it, Infestor, Broodlord, Corruptor is one of the most cost-efficient
Oh, I know.
unit compositions that you can do.
I know, Andre.
So when Zerg are able to just go to that freely, it's like, well, you're in for a really tough road ahead of you, and that's what we had. I mean, Top played phenomenally, but just not enough to how Scarlet played.
Game 1 goes to Scarlett. She only has to win one more game to advance to the round of 64, but OGS Top showed very good play, but was not able to keep up with our Canadian Zerg. We'll find out what happens in game number 2 when we come back after this quick commercial break.